Hi, my name's Bach, and I'm going to do a replay commentary of Long Lane Solo Lich that I played earlier today. So, put on player perspective already, and I guess I'll press play. So, I have a lot of fun playing Long Lane Solo Lich, and it's really... Wait, this isn't on me.
Prepare for battle.
Okay, here we go. And I think it's really crushing if you can if they try lane and you are the solo long lane as Lich. Basically because his skill Dark Ritual Sacrifice. His skill Sacrifice. I think it used to be called Dark Ritual in Dota 1. Um, Anyways, the skill Sacrifice, it eats a creep, and then depending on how much health that creep has, you get a certain percent of mana back. Um, it's really important, by the way, when you start out to buy wards immediately and then just book it for the top lane because you need to block their pull camp. Let me go into free camera really quickly. I really like this ward spot because it gives you
30
vision
seconds to
of
battle.
anybody who's trying to come up the ramp, and if they try and come around and gank you, you can kind of see them, and it also blocks their pull camp. The problem with this camp is that it's easily dewarded. People usually find it pretty easily. Another good spot is right here. Anyways, so you need to start out with observer wards first and just book it to the top lane because you need to get back into your lane as quickly as possible so that you can sacrifice the first creep that comes
The
out.
battle begins.
Um, so I sacrificed the melee creep. It's important to sacrifice the melee creep, by the way, because it gives more experience than the range creep. I forgot by how much more, but it's basically every experience point counts. Usually in a long lane solo Lich situation, you're going against a dual lane or a tri lane. But in this situation, it was just me versus a solo bounty hunter. So it's a little different than what you might see in a normal game. But I think there's a lot of principles that I cover in this game that are pretty good. So I creep block letting my range creep go first, making sure that their wave's going to push into mine. And I got a second creep sacrifice. By the way, for sacrifice, if you sacrifice a creep, the game doesn't register as a deny. They register as the creep never existing if you sacrifice it. So no matter how close the bounty hunter was to the creep when I sacrificed it, he still gets 0 EXP. And that's why solo long lane Lich is particularly crushing against tri lanes if they don't get your D ward. If they don't D ward your pull if they don't deward your observer ward that blocks their pull camp, because you deny so much experience and they have a hard time of making that experience back up, and by the time they hit the mid game, their two supports and their carry end up being pretty underleveled. And then of course another good reason why sacrifice is really good is that you're also denying gold, so something to keep in mind. I pick up tangos and a salve. I think if you can get somebody to pull you observer wards at the very beginning, you can probably start off with boots, tango, and then the pulled observer wards that you have. But since people usually don't pull you anything in just pub games, I like starting off with 6 tango, salve, and observer ward. It gives you a lot of regen, so you can out-harass the enemy with Frost Blast, and it should sustain you long enough that you can get boots. So I noticed something that the bounty hunter is doing is he's harassing me by just going invis and coming out and then just right-clicking me with Janata, which gives him some bonus damage to his right clicks. And at this point, I figured that after I get my boots, I'm gonna buy some sentry wards so that I can just really bully him out of the lane. You can see how effective this sacrifice is already. The bounty hunter is level 3, halfway at level 3, and I'm already at level 4. He's harassing me pretty well, but I still have 4 tangos left and a salve, while he only has 1 salve left. So I know that I'm gonna beat him in regeneration. He smartly picks up a magic stick, but it's just not gonna be enough because spamming Frost Blast it's gonna bring him down pretty low. Just gonna Frost Blast him here. A little worried about dying, but then I salved up immediately, and I felt okay. I knew that I was gonna have to buy sentry wards from base anyways, so I bought my boots of speed there. If I can make it up to the side shop, I usually try and get boots there because I don't want to hog the courier. But since I had to buy the sentry wards from base anyways, I decided that I'll just buy my boots there and then transfer them over. Normally, you don't want to send the courier to any of the side lanes until it's a flying courier because it can easily get killed, basically, if you're not being careful. But again, like, not much of a choice here. I can't upgrade the courier myself. One of the supports should upgrade the courier, but we have a really weird tri-lane at the bottom, where it's Tide Hunter, Lone Druid without his bear, and PA. Paladin no bear build. So I bring the sentry into lane because I know that this bounty hunter, he can't do anything anymore now. He can't harass me because the minute I see him trying to come up to me, I'm just gonna frost blast him in the face. And so I think he probably checked my inventory and he knew that I had a sentry. So he's gonna leave the lane pretty soon. But now I am about 5.5. Yeah, I'm at 5.5, and this guy is almost to 5. But yeah, so this Dark Ritual spam and Frost Blast is really effective. He can't come to lane. He knows that there's a sentry probably in lane now. So he can't do anything about it, because I'm just going to Frost Blast him and kill him. He's probably looking to see if he can pull or not, but again, I have this Observer Ward that's blocking this pull camp. And yeah. So the Bounty Hunter is forced to leave the lane at the moment. And I pretty much get solo farm up here. So I think maxing out Frost Blast is definitely the skill that you should max out first. I know some people will do 2 points in Frost Blast and then they'll max Sacrifice. I think that's a mistake. Basically, if you're wise about how you use Frost Blast, you should never be out of mana.
Middle is missing.
While if you have more level of Sacrifice, like, it's true that you'll probably have more mana. I see him coming from behind. And I tried to get the kill here because I was hoping it would bounce that creep. I saw him move to the right, and so I placed the sentry here because I thought he was still in biz. I kind of misclicked a little bit there. But I got him. So yeah, I'm doing really well in lane right now. Level 7, this bounty hunter is level 5, I think. And have my boots. Gonna build tranquil boots. Keeps them pretty sustainable in lane, because you just use sacrifice to bring your mana pool all the way back up, and then you tranquil boots to bring your health back up. So you don't really have to head back to the fountain at any point. Anyways, I was talking about how I definitely think maxing Frost Blast is the way to go instead of maxing Sacrifice. Because even though you max Sacrifice, you'll have a healthy amount of mana all the time. You should still have a healthy amount of mana with level 2 Sacrifice and level 4 Frost Blast, as long as you pay attention and you're not like spamming it so often that you find yourself without mana to even cast Sacrifice, which I see happens to some players, and they really shouldn't let that happen, basically. I think at this point you could actually do 4 points in Frost Blast, 2 points in Sacrifice, and 1 point in Ice Armor, especially since I'm going against a melee hero. The Ice Armor actually really helps, because it does a 30% movement slow and a 20% attack slow, so it makes it a lot more durable. But I was just being really greedy, and I wanted to kill the Bounty Hunter again and again. So I wanted to max Sacrifice because I wanted to make sure that the next time my Chain Frost was off cooldown, that I would have enough to both Frost Blast him and like Chain Frost him too. I basically wanted to make sure every time he came into lane, I could cast a Frost Blast on him, and then if he came into lane again, I would have enough mana to cast Frost Blast and Chain Frost, and that's why I'm matching Sacrifice, because I'm being really greedy. He is trying to stack, I think. But yeah, you can already see just how far ahead I am compared to him. He has a Stout Shield, just a Magic Wand, and he is level 5. I am level 8, and I have Tranquil Boots, and I have sentries and a TP coming in. So I'm a little bit ahead on items, but I'm way ahead in experience, and I'm probably, let's see, let me go to, no, that's not the graph that I want to look at, game stats. Last hits, he's got 10, and I got 19, so I'm almost doubling him in last hits. So he pulls. I didn't even know that he pulled here. I guess he's just trying to build levels right now because he's so far behind. But yeah, another thing Sacrifice is really good about is that it controls your lane really well. And it always makes it so that your lane is like around this area at the beginning. It basically makes sure that your lane's around this area. And like, that's why Lich can be so effective against a tri-lane, because it's really dangerous for your character to be anywhere past the river, basically, because the supports can come in and just harass you and kill you, basically, if you're out of position. But with Sacrifice, since you're always able to keep the creep wave around here, you're pretty safe. And again, if you block their pull camp, the supports, they're forced to like wander around a little bit, and like they don't have access to this pull camp to control the lane or get experience or get gold. They're the only way they'll be able to get experience is to stand in lane and leech experience, or they could try stacking this camp and doing a side pull. But if they try to do that with this camp, it's much easier to contest this camp than it is to contest their pull camp over here. So it's pretty much a pretty good situation. So my friend, I'm playing in a 3-stack, by the way, with Nicodemus Mayflower and also Clinks Eastwood. I think he changed his name to Thunderbra. I'm just going to refer to him as Vajandra from now on. I think he's going through like a character name crisis, or a handle crisis, so I decided to go down bot because I'm gonna let this PA get farm and let her get levels, because she was being contested by our no bear still a bear. And I'm like just way ahead on levels now too. Placed the sentry because I knew the bounty hunter was missing, and we're able to get a kill on him, I think. No, never mind. We're gonna get killed instead, maybe. Oh goodness. Huh, he stopped for some reason. I cast the frost armor on him because if Ursa attacks him, then Ursa gets a 30% movement speeds debuff. So frost armor is really good against melee heroes that want to just like right click you down like that. It's really good against Ursa. Because especially since Ursa is a character that gets kited really easily. If he doesn't have Blink Dagger, or if he doesn't have Shadow Blade, you just slow him down a little bit and then you run away. Let me put this back in player perspective. Put on the Lich. So I go Tranquil Boots. I was planning to go Mech next, but our Obsidian, or our Outworld Destroyer, Devour, whatever they call him nowadays, our OD decided that he wanted to go Mech instead. And Mech is actually a pretty cool item to get on OD, because when you have the Buckler, so basically ODs will get Tranquil Boots, and then they'll get a Buckler, and then OD has that passive skill. I need to take a look at it again. This passive skill is called Essence Aura. So he has this passive skill Essence Aura, where if he casts a mana ability, it has at level 4 it has a 40% chance to proc and restore your mana pool. And since Buckler and Tranquil Boots have you need mana in order to cast them, but the mana cost is really low. I think Buckler is like 10 mana, and then Tranquil Boots is like 25 mana. And if you cast either one of them, you have like a 40% chance to it looked like my friend might have been in trouble, so I was considering about TPing top. You have a 40% chance to restore your mana pool. I cast Frost Blast on him because I know that he can't catch up to me. And let me put this back. Casted the Chain Frost because I felt like all three of them grouped up, but it wasn't very good because I didn't get all the bounces on it. Again, gonna cast Frost Blast on the Ursa because I want to slow him down. Yeah. And then,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
so I did end up picking up 1 point in Frost Armor because that's good. I'm glad I didn't go 404. Definitely picking up a point in Frost Armor is very good, especially when they have something like Ursa on the other side. Yeah, I'm really glad. I almost thought I went 404, or I was pretty sure that I went 404 in this replay, but I guess not. TP topped because it seemed like they needed assistance, but then I realized I had no mana at all, and if I went up, there wasn't anything I could do. So I went back to the creep wave and tried to sacrifice the first creep that I saw. Anyways, heading mid. Again, just letting our PA get solo experience and solo farm in the top lane. See, there's an Ursa. I'm casting Frost Armor on everyone I can. Slows the Ursa down. Slows his attack speed by 20%, slows his movement speed by 30%. And we get the kill on him. He has Aegis, but we group up around him. He doesn't even have any points in Earthshock, so like, if I cast Frost Armor on somebody and Ursa hits them once, because he doesn't have a Blink Dagger, because he doesn't have Earthshock, all that person has to do is walk away, and Ursa will not be able to catch up to them. And that's one of his main problems as a hero. He should have won a couple points in Earthshock. I think I was telling my friend Bajandro to cast Ravage there, but he was being stubborn and not doing it. Still only have a Tranquil Boots. Huh. Oh, I'm gonna pick up Force Staff. That's right. So because the OD picked up Mech, I would have picked that up if he didn't. But because he did, I decided to go Force Staff. And I think Force Staff is really good against their team. Because, say Ursa does get Earthshock, he, is it called Earthshock? I'm pretty sure it's called Earthshock. Let me check. Camera. Yeah, Earthshock. So, if Ursa does get Earthshock, and he lands it on somebody, since it's a slow, Force Staff is a very effective item to get if there's a lot of slows on the enemy team, because you just Force Staff the person away. And so, say the Ursa lands an Earthshock successfully on somebody, you just Force Staff that person away, and then by the time the Ursa can catch up to them, Aftershock, the debuff on Aftershock is probably already worn off, or is close to wearing off, and that person can walk away. Again, Drow's Ice Arrows, Bounty Hunters, Janata hit also causes a slow. Abaddon's passive causes a slow. So Force Staff is a really, really good item to pick up in this matchup. I mean, it's a good item to pick up on Lich. Regardless, I think you should probably pick it up the majority of the games that you play as Lich, but in this game in particular, like, it's even better, just because their team has so many slows that Force Staff is just such an effective item against slows. Like, you hear all the time that if there's a Nyx on the enemy team, you have to get a Force Staff on your team, because it's a really effective way to get around open wounds. Nyx will open wounds a character, you just Force Staff that character out, and then Nyx can't do anything about it, unless the team has to come in and try and stun that dude, basically. But yeah, so that was why I decided to go Force Staff. And also, since I have the Tranquil Boots, I knew that I could disassemble the Tranquil Boots, pick up my Ring of Regeneration, take my Staff of Witchery, and buy the recipe. So, effective way to do that too, because you don't really need Tranquil Boots as much as you get into the later stages of the game. For Lich, I only picked up the Tranquil Boots to help me sustain myself in lane when I was laning against Bounty. Again, I'm casting Frost Armor on everyone that I can, except for Tidehunter, because F that guy. But yeah, casting Frost Armor. Looks like we're gonna go on this Ursa.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Come on. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Definitely should have casted armor on the Tidehunter earlier. Might have kept him alive. Looks like her PA too.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I was wondering how he died here, and no wonder. He like dove super far. I think I misclicked my chain cross because I am good at Dota 2. But definitely was planning to chain frost that Ursa. I think I did misclick it. It wasn't because of the astral imprisonment, it was just like me misclicking. But that would have been bad if I actually clicked on the Ursa and then OD astral imprisoned him, because I think the ice blast goes away immediately. Or like it'll hit the astral imprisoned target, but it won't deal any damage to them, and then it won't bounce anywhere. I believe that's how it works. Oh, by the way, cool thing about Chain Frost, it has a mini stun to it. So if there's an enemy that's trying to TP away, or if there's an enemy that's casting a channeling spell, like a big channeling spell, like if you see SK channeling his Epicenter, or if Enigma is channeling his Black Hole, if you cast Chain Frost on them, the second the Chain Frost comes out of Lich's hand, like the second that Lich can cast it and it comes out, the mini stun activates immediately. So like it's not even like you have to wait for the Chain Frost to get to the target. No, if you just press R, click the target, and the Chain Frost comes out, it mini stuns them. Casting Frost Armor on Titan, trying to keep him alive. I think I forced that. Nope, I just watch him die instead. Force staff anywhere else.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Are we gonna get him? Yeah, get him.
Radiant's top tower
I think I forced staff. Yeah. Not sure if I needed to do that since he has Blink Strike, but figured it might help, and I wasn't using it. Do I die here? No, I don't think I do. Nice. Okay. So yeah. Really, Lich's skills aren't too complex. I mean,
Radiant structures are fortified.
do I die here? No. Nice. See? Force Staff. It's a good item against slows. The second I saw myself getting hit by those frost arrows, I was like, I got Force Staff out of here. Get her! Yeah! I might have been able to kill her with Chain Frost, but I had to make sure I left a message after she took her tower. I had to tell her that you cannot take our towers for free. You will pay for it. Pick up a gem because we're way ahead, and I feel like I have items where like Force Staff is basically gonna get me out of every like sticky situation I'm in, save getting glimpsed by Disruptor. So I felt like I was in a situation where it was really, really hard for me to get killed, and that picking up the gem now would be a really good purchase because we're way ahead, and so we can get rid of all of the vision that they have on the map. As you can see, there are 4 enemy observer wards on the map that I can deward. But I mean, even though the enemy doesn't have any vision on the map, it's also good because of the Bounty Hunter. And I think I saw that Ursa had a Shadow Amulet or a Claymore on it too. Hold on. No, not yet. The Ursa ends up picking up Shadow Blade, if I'm not mistaken. And so having the gem for that is good. Let me put myself back on player perspective. Our Syllabear still has no bear. You can tell that I am in a really high matchmaking right now. Let's see. I should be casting armor on this little bear, and I should be casting ice armor on myself too. But I am not a good player, so I'm not doing it. Frost Blast. Yeah. Oh, it was the Drow that got Shadow Blade. Okay. I think I saw the Drow had a Shadow Amulet or a Claymore also. And so that was another reason why I felt like picking up Gem would be good, because I have 2 invisible units on their team. So, getting ready to team fight. Good Ravage, catches 4. Not casting Chain Frost yet, because I feel like the enemies weren't really that grouped up for it. Is it Chain Frost? No. I think Bajandro was asking us to help him out, but we all kind of left him to die there. Okay, that's where I felt like it would be a good Chain Frost. And of course, it screws. Get out!
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, we're just way far ahead right now, and
has fallen.
We knew that if we 5-on-5 them, that we would come out ahead. and we're really pressing our advantage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, if you ever go up, by the way, if you ever go up against a Lich solo long lane, and you know that they're going to do a Lich solo long lane, then you might want to pick up a good jungler, like a good jungler that can push really well, like Chen or Enchantress, or maybe you could even put Lone Druid in the jungle. Lone Druid's kind of a slow jungler though. But basically Lich does not do well when the opponents have an aggressive push strategy, which makes a lot of sense because it's like you're taking out one creep from the lane each time the creep wave comes up. And then also, like, what are you gonna do to, like, get rid of the creeps that come up to your tower? You can, like, Frost Blast them, and that's about it. And I don't even think Lich has a way to aggro the creeps past the tower either. Like, you can right-click their enemy hero if they're close to the tower, but that's about it. I don't think Frost Blast aggro's creeps. And by that I mean, like, if you notice, if you play Rubik and you cast Fade Bolt on the enemy wave, it immediately aggroes all the creeps to Rubik, and they start chasing after him. And that's why Rubik is really good at defending towers, because you can just Fade Bolt the creep wave that comes up, and then they'll just chase Rubik, and you pull them back. And then when there's no creeps by the tower, how did the enemy's heroes come up to the tower? They can't. They're going to take tower hits. But Lich can't do that. Frost Blast, I'm like 99.9% sure that does not aggro the creeps. So Lich gets like, he gets bodied a little bit by like aggressive push strategies, basically. Pick up the Boots of Travel, because again, felt like I was way ahead. I think Boots of Travel is also an excellent item to have, as you can see. Get that Frost Blast. No, don't let him get away. Force that. Do something. Nice. Anyways, yeah. I think Boots of Travel is an excellent item. You can just show up, help your allies. You can farm one lane and then TP Boots to the other side of the lane, join your allies, stuff like that. Again, good against this matchup. They have a lot of slows, increase your movement speed. It's another way to counteract it. We're going in. Ha! Lucky crits. Double crits. We were talking about how Abaddon's actually like kind of a decent counter to, OD is a decent counter to Abaddon, because whenever Abaddon goes into borrowed time with OD, you just cast Astral Imprisonment on them. Astral Imprisonment lasts 4 seconds, and then I think level 3 borrowed time lasts 5 seconds. And he still only has, yeah, it's only 3 seconds right now. So like, if you're the Obsidian Destroyer and you see that borrowed time goes off on the Abaddon, you just cast Astral Imprisonment on them, and then it wastes all that borrowed time duration basically, and they come out and they're 400 or less HP hero that's ready to just get killed. And now we're gonna push, because we're really strong right now. I'm just chilling out in the back, waiting for an opportune moment to cast my Chain Frost. I guess we're not going for it. Probably because the rest of our allies aren't here. Oh, I think I tell the rest of the team. Yeah, I told the rest of the team that we should take the towers. It's like, when you're this far ahead, like, there's no need to be, like, overly aggressive, especially with our current lineup. Like, maybe if you had, like, a super, like, early, like, push aggressive team, and, like, they have like a super late game team, then yeah, you should be overly aggressive. But like, in the situation that we're in, like, we can take the rest of their towers easily, and like, all their towers are free gold for us. Every tower is like 1,000 gold for our team. Like, yeah, excellent Chain Frost, hitting one person. Ooh, Druid's trying to help him. Nice. Definitely helped him there with that right click. Kill that Abaddon. Dang, that's great. Obviously, Nicodemus is the skill master of PA, critting whenever he feels like. Picking up the basher. Anyways, when you're like way far ahead, and like with our lineup, we're like, we basically have a good early, middle, and late game, and when they have towers like that, you just need to take them because it's free gold. Like if we were all at low health and we took that tier 2, we probably would have backed off and then we would have regrouped and taken the top tier 2. But since we were all at pretty good health, ooh, he barely gets away there. Somebody force-tapped him the wrong way. I force-tapped him the right way, but he still died. That's cross armor. Not much I can do here.
I can't bear to be seen.
Except run. I knew I got tracked, and I knew that I was probably pretty screwed because Disruptor has glimpse. He should have glimpse. And like, yeah, he has glimpse, but he didn't max up. And I thought for sure that I was gonna die here because I still had track on me, and so they still had the vision on me, but there was no way that they could stop me because Bounty didn't have enough mana for Shuriken toss, and then Abaddon and Drow don't have a stun to them, and he didn't max glimpse. He should max glimpse before getting any more points in kinetic field. Glimpse is super good, and at level 4, like you can glimpse somebody like a full screen away or something ridiculous. Back to player perspective. So yeah, I barely got away there. Picking up a vitality booster because I feel like I need the HP a little bit, and I wanted to make a Rod of Eidos because Eidos synergizes well with Force Staff, and I just felt like it'd be a useful item to have this match. Eidos is like pretty good too. It's a underused item. Pretty close to too. Only like 80 gold away. So I stole that CS from him. So close to it. Anyways, yeah. So like, we were thinking earlier in the game, we were thinking as 3 pushing into their base, but like there was just no need to do it. Like we might as well play it safe. We caught glimpse up there was a Bounty there, and we just went after him. We might as well just play it safe. We know we can take the rest of their towers, so take the rest of their towers, get the money, and just be up in map control and gold on them, and just secure the game. Like there's like oftentimes where I just feel like people will get overly aggressive. They'll like feel really confident because they've been winning their team fights, and then they'll just like get completely crushed because they put themselves in like a really bad position, and then it brings the opponents back into the game, and you just don't want to do that. That is bad to do. They're grouping up. I should cast my Chain Frost. No, I got silenced. I should cast my Chain Frost. No, they're grouped away now. Haha, Rod of Eidos. And this is the part where it's like, I'm stuck, or am I? Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Rod of Eidos and Force Staff. Pretty good combination. Gives you a ton of reach when it comes to that slow. It's like on Eidos, the AoE is pretty huge. It's really large. You can, if like I'm standing here, I can probably Eidos somebody like on the top right of the screen.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So yeah, taking towers. I still don't think our bear has a bear yet. No bear. Bearless, still a bear.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Definitely didn't think this game was gonna go as well as it did, because we had a no bear, still a bear, PA, and Tide tri-lane. It's very weird. But I basically won my lane, like big time won my lane too. I don't know how it did. It seemed like he did pretty well. And I think they got a kill that bot too, so we did pretty well in all our lanes, from what it seems like.
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Getting
attack.
those kills secures.
Dire's bottom barracks.
So it seemed like we did pretty well in all our lanes. That just let us steamroll for the
Dire's
rest of the
bottom
match.
barracks has fallen.
We're gonna back up here, or do we keep going? God. I think we keep going. I should be casting Frost Armor on myself. That's something not very conscientious of. Yeah, steal that building. I should be casting Frost Armor on everybody. It should not be on cooldown like that. Just getting lazy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Thinking about getting a BKB, because if I ever need a run, I can BKB and TP out. And they can't stop me if I do that.
Has fallen.
If I had to get another
Dire's
item
middle tower
at this
is under
point,
attack.
might go Shiva's. Shiva's would be really good. It has the, first it's flavorful, I mean, more ice power, so who doesn't love that? Yeah, Hidoser. No, I should have went for that kill. So, I mean, first off, flavor for the Shivas, and then it has the movement slow and the attack slow again, which is pretty good against their team.
Dire's middle tower is under
And
attack. Dire's
start to
middle
throw.
tower has fallen.
The parts were we
Dire's ancient
found
is
for
under
them.
attack.
Be as disrespectful as possible. Oh gosh.
Done with me.
Pick up that BKB.
Dire's ancient.
If I wasn't joking around, I probably would have went Shiva's, or I would have went Sheepstick, maybe. I buy Sentry Ward so that we can pound farm them more, but don't even get a chance to do that. So yeah. This was my game as Longlane Lich. I hope that was informative. Again, to recap, start out with Sacrifice at level 1. It brings the creep wave to your tower, making your lane really safe for you, and it also denies experience and gold to the enemies that are in that lane. Make sure you start out with Observer Wards, and just from the very beginning, just run straight to their pull camp and ward their pull camp, and then run straight back. That's really important, because if you do that, you're able to get 2 sacrifices off of your first creep wave, thus ensuring that it brings the creep wave even closer to your side, basically. And then spam Frost Blast on their carries. If they don't have a lot of regeneration, you're eventually going to be able to force them out of lane. I think if you were playing against Lich, like if I was the bounty hunter playing against Lich, I probably wouldn't went Tranquil Boots. Would have tried to save up for Tranquil Boots, because there's no way I would have been able to sustain myself in lane against Frost Blast. And yeah, definitely try it out sometime. If you know that the opponents have a tri-lane, and it's not a tri-lane where it's very aggressive and push, then definitely that is the right time to use Lich. It's I have a lot of fun with Longlane Lich, and I find it's like extremely crushing if your enemies are not prepared for it. So yeah, that's about it. Alright, later everyone.